Cargo Protection is a division of CPI that specializes in risk management of goods in transit. The unit is uniquely structured to offer a complete risk management solution, combining traditional security methods with high-tech systems and equipment. We designed and developed our own unique anti-theft and tamper alert products in keeping with our policy, prevention is better than cure. The combined CPI infrastructure boasts its own fully equipped police helicopter. The core business of this subdivision of CPI is the locking and tracking of container doors and other high-value cargo. CPI supports the client at depots by locking the container inside the depot prior to delivery. Our experienced team also oversee inspections and relock the container afterwards for the delivery leg. Prevention of theft and hijacking starts with the unique features of the locks CPI uses. The CPI container locks are made of tough, wear-resistant steel and cover the container locking mechanism of the inner parts of both the left and right-hand doors. The locks prevent the locking mechanism from turning into the open position and effectively disable the container handles. No part of the container door or spindle can be cut off in order to overcome the lock. The lock also provides a secure housing for the tracking unit and protects the unit from any attacks. The lock also withstands conventional cutting equipment such as bolt cutters and hacksaws and is very difficult to cut with a grinder or blowtorch. The lock is easy to fit and remove with the correct tools by trained technicians. CPI uses a portable GPS or GSM tracking unit that is securely housed inside the container lock. Satellite technology provides rule-based 24-hour monitoring at the in-house control room in Midrand, Johannesburg.
Okay, your OB will be 549.
The purpose of the tracking unit is to alert the CPI control room when there is a violation of the standard operating procedure as well as various tamper alarms. The tracking allows CPI to track the actual live movements of the container, from the moment it leaves the clamping area until it arrives at its final destination. It provides the control room with a positional update every 3 minutes and will report violations such as route deviations, shock alarms, unlawful leaving of a declamping zone, and heat sensor alarms indicating tampering. The trained operators monitor the cargo in transit according to internal SOPs on a 24/7 basis. The cargo is tracked digitally up to final destination where the locks are removed by CPI staff.
Have you sent out the armed response?
Yes, I did.
Any incidents and discrepancies are reported to the client in detail. The tracking also assists CPI recovery teams with any hijack recovery operations and provides data for further investigations. As soon as the CPI control room, NOC, is certain that a hijacking is taking place, then the hijack recovery process will kick in. All the armed escort teams, as well as armed investigators in the different regions, form part of the CPI recovery infrastructure. The CPI control room will contact the nearest CPI responder and will provide them with GPS coordinates obtained from the tracking unit, as well as a description of the container and truck or trailer details. If the container is moving, the control room will provide updated positions as the information becomes available. If weather and operational circumstances allow, the control room will also alert the CPI aviation department and request that the CPI helicopter join the recovery process. This will mainly be necessary if the nearest ground support is far from the hijacking scene, or if the container is in an informal settlement, or an area where the street names cannot be used as a reference. As a backup, CPI also has a retainer agreement with Capital Air to provide ground and air recovery support should CPI not be able to respond to an incident. It is much easier to locate the container from the air in places like small holdings or where the visual identification is obstructed by buildings or trees.
We have managed to get the truck and put it off the road. We've also managed to secure the
As soon as a container is recovered, CPI will ensure that the container lock and seals are still intact and will assist the client in getting the container handed back by the SAPS. Should further investigations be required, then CPI will conduct the investigation. This can also include forensic investigations like fingerprints and ballistics. In addition to these proactive services, experienced staff oversee customs, border, and police inspections, LCL unpacking and investigations. Once clients advise on the cargo to be secured, the containers are inspected and sealed. With CPI Cargo Protection, prevention is better than cure. CPI Cargo Protection will not only start the journey with you, but also finish it.